Safety first. Please start the podcast before driving and do not interact with your phone while operating your vehicle.
Welcome to Impactful Dialogues, an Ecolab podcast elevating inclusion, mindfulness, purpose, awareness, collaboration, and trust through executive conversation. I'm your host, Vice President of Global Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, Dexter Davis. Welcome, everybody, for another Impactful Dialogue. Excited to have a conversation with Jeff Burt, and just want to thank Jeff for being here today.
Thanks very much, Dexter. I'm glad to be here with you.
All right. So just a little background about Jeff. Jeff serves as a Senior Vice President of Ecolab's Global Safety, Health, and Environment, and his leadership has been essential in developing a strong safety culture here at Ecolab. Jeff also serves as executive sponsor for our planned ERG, which is an ERG here at Ecolab that provides quality learning and experiential opportunities that allows you as associates to promote yourself within the organization, leverage your knowledge, experience, and skills, and accelerate learning and navigate your career path. So once again, Jeff, thank you for coming. I first want to just start us off and saying, there's been a lot of discussion, a lot of talk about psychological safety. And it was actually a term coined in 1999 by Amy Edmondson, who's a Harvard researcher. And it's got a lot of play given a lot of the disruption we've seen over the last 2 to 3 years. As a leader of our safety, health, and environment at Ecolab, how would you define psychological safety and why do you think it's important?
It can be defined from different perspectives, but when it comes to associate safety, which is our focus, preventing injury and harm, it means our associates feel empowered to speak up and stop work. By empowered, we mean that we've created a psychologically safe environment where people feel comfortable and confident enough to speak up when things are not right. And when they do speak up, they're going to be supported by their managers, their peers, our customers, so that actions will be taken to address things accordingly and make them safe. So you can imagine, Dexter, this ability to speak up and exercise psychological safety in a personal safety sensitive environment, it has a huge impact on our company, the results we deliver to our customers, and importantly to our families when we return home each and every day.
Love that. Great answer, Jeff. And when you think about the safety piece and how we have that safety mindset here at Ecolab, and I think we're truly a best-in-class organization when it comes to safety, and that speaks to your leadership and the impact and the commitment to safety as an organization. Could you talk a little bit about our journey to get here? Because I know it doesn't come, you don't just flip a switch and say, okay, we're going to be an industry leader in safety. Can you talk a little bit about over your years here at Ecolab, how's that journey been to really become that and achieve that status of really being a safety-first organization?
Yeah, it's really been a great journey, I will say. And I think we really started talking about this years ago when we began with empowerment. And I mentioned empowerment earlier, providing our associates with opportunities to speak up, to learn from our mistakes, and creating safe spaces to understand from every event and how we can be better. And more recently, in the SHE organization, we've been talking about our culture of care concept, which you may have heard about. And that's how we can all support one another in a more purposeful manner, respecting differences, being inclusive, and learning from one another. And most recently, you might have also seen our series on mindful moments in January. That really reinforces our culture of care concept to ensure we are at our best physical, emotional, and mental fitness states when we head out to work each and every day.
Jeff, I couldn't agree anymore. And as you were talking through that culture of care and really psychological safety and inclusion, really psychological safety is kind of that foundation to really have that inclusive culture where people truly can come to work and feel safe and be their best and really perform. And I think that's important that we're looking at safety in a broad sense that includes all of that. And I appreciate your efforts and your team's efforts to really continue to do that. What are some other ways you're looking to promote that over the next year or so?
Well, we've got World Safety Day coming up, Dexter.
Oh,
as
yes.
You know, it's
Yep.
That's a big one on April 28th. It's a big promotion for us, and I'm really proud of our strong safety culture and the fact that we've been participating in these World Safety Days for years. And it's really for us, Dexter, it's been a series of progressive events. Each of them builds upon the last. And psychological safety is really an important element in all of them. So let me just walk you back a little bit. We began years ago with Stop Work Authority, as I kind of mentioned earlier. That empowers every associate to stop the work they're doing if they feel the environment is unsafe for them or our customers. The next year, we emphasized hazard recognition, which taught associates how to recognize those unsafe conditions and act on them. And then last year, very proud, we developed personal safety leadership, which demonstrated how any associate can lead with safety when they focus on what you talked about, Dexter, their personal well-being, creating a sense of belonging for others, and working with a safe state of mind. And so this year, at the end of April, we are going to roll out Your Safety Observations Are Vital. And this is going to emphasize our processes to facilitate an employee's ability to speak up and share observations about what they experience and see in the workplace. This will help us identify and share safety observations more broadly using an enhanced tool that we developed in our reporting systems. The results are going to help us uncover products, programs, equipment, or protocols that can be improved to eliminate risk before an incident occurs, or said another way, becoming proactive versus being reactive. And so, as you have heard, all of this is really tied together with the concept of it's safe to speak up, or psychological safety, and identify areas we can learn from to prevent injuries and accidents. And what I'm excited about most this year is the learning we will achieve from those who are closest to the work being performed. So there's a lot to be gained from our frontline sales and service and global supply chain teammates.
That is awesome. And just for me, returning back to Ecolab, I've been here for about 2 years now. I had an opportunity to visit some of our manufacturing plants last year, and that culture was clear. And I think it's so important. I mean, I hate to use the March Madness, use a sports analogy, but I'm going to. It's really that mindset of playing to win and not playing not to lose. And I think that psychological safety component is so important of that. I remember going to some of the meetings in our manufacturing plants when we have their moments where they're talking to the group, and people are openly talking about the mistakes that happened and talking about how we're going to fix them and talking about how important it is. And there was not that shame and feeling humiliated for admitting that stuff. And that's so important because in a lot of our organizations, whether it's in the field sales or whether it's in a manufacturing plant, that safety is critical for our associate safety. It's critical for our customer safety. And that mindset is so important. So I really appreciate you breaking that down for us, Jeff, because I think it's so important. Because I do believe at Ecolab we play to win. And one way to play to win is making sure we have an organization where people feel safe psychologically and feel like they're equipped to be their best. And that's pretty cool to hear.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Dexter. And I couldn't emphasize more the learning component of that you said.
Mm-hmm.
Without the ability to learn, we can't get better. We will make the same mistakes over and over again. And so that learning component, that openness, that sharing, the ability to bring things up to leadership, to your peers, to the people that you're working with side by side, it's really, really critical. And that's what's most exciting for me, as I mentioned this year, when we work on Your Observations Are Vital. It's really going to provide us with yet another tool in our toolbox to reduce our injuries and accidents, which is a great path for us, as you know.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the more we have that toolbox and have access to that for all is just going to continue to make us a better organization in so many ways. So much appreciated. As we've been talking, I think about, like I said earlier, that our transformation as an organization to a safety culture and really having that safety first mindset. How can we think about that as we think from a diversity, equity, inclusion to really make that transformation from an inclusive culture? What can we learn from our journey to that safety culture that we can really leverage when we come to inclusive culture?
It's an interesting question, and we've tried to do some research into this and get into the data, and we do find people with higher engagement scores, people who feel they are more included, tend to be safer workers as well. And so it all goes hand in hand. And I will add, we also tend to find that the business results are better too.
Yes.
So it's one of those foundational things that you bring forward to show that it's not just a thing to do or a tagline to say. It's something that is embedded in how you act, how you work with people, how you work with our customers. And it's just a very foundational thing that leads to really great results overall. Our customers demand it, our employees demand it. It's all about, working in a safe environment. And so for me, when you have a good safety record, business results tend to follow. Inclusivity tends to follow. There's just a lot of good things that come out of that. And so, like I said, very foundational type thing when we talk about the culture of safety and the culture of inclusivity, exercising psychological safety, stop work, empowerment, all those things, they all kind of wrap up together in one.
100% agree. And I think it speaks a lot to our organization and our focus on safety that we see that safety as being broader just making sure that we have less accidents, because all that plays a key point. I think you articulated that very well, Jeff. As we continue to make folks more aware of the importance of safety and how that leads to psychological safety, and you touched on this a little bit, and I think it's important to kind of just talk about that too. There's a good reason why we do these things, and we really want our associates to feel like they belong and they feel like they can really be their best here at Ecolab. But there's also that business results piece, and I think that's really important too. You mentioned that, hey, if you're more engaged and you feel psychologically safe, you do better work and we have better business results. Speak a little bit about how important this culture really leads to better business results, because I think that's been really apparent here at Ecolab.
That's a good one, because I'm not sure if you're aware of this, Dexter, but we have many of our customers, particularly in the industrial environment, that we have to go through a pre-qualification process
Oh.
and demonstrate some of our proven safety results before we're even allowed to do business with them. Before we even get in the door and service that account, we have to demonstrate to them that we have particular safety programs in place, results in place, training, many different types of things. So when you talk about how important is it to business results, we could be shut out of calling on certain accounts and actually working with them because of our safety performance. So, that's probably the most straightforward answer I can give you, because everything beyond that is easy, seems easy after that. So it's very important that as a company, we maintain our safety standards, our training, our refreshers, all the things that we need to go to, because in fact, many of our customers will ask us to demonstrate that we have that capability, and that when we come on site to their facility, we are going to be in a safe space and we're going to help them improve their overall safety. So it's absolutely critically important. And as you know, our customers feel the same way. They don't want their employees endangered in any way, shape, or form. And they actually see us as helping them protect their employees in their plants and facilities as well. So it's a huge opportunity for us to differentiate ourselves from maybe some of our competitors that don't have such an emphasis like we have on safety and preventing injuries and accidents.
Yeah, and it's really, really about what we do here at Ecolab, whether it's food safety, maintaining clean and safe environments for our customers, or optimizing water and energy use. These are all the things that we've been doing for 100 years, Jeff, and that is a great example how that ties into business results.
That's exactly right. And safety is part of our total value proposition to the customer, without a doubt.
Good. Well, Jeff, I mean, once again, appreciate your time today. And I really enjoyed the conversation. And you're a true ambassador for Ecolab, whether it's from a safety, from a DEI, and leading ERGs, and just having the diverse experiences and really have that career path. That's really a flagship of what we're looking for our associates at Ecolab. So thank you so much for the conversation.
Well, thank you, Dexter. I appreciate the time we were able to spend together. Be safe and go ERGs.
All right. So thanks again to Jeff. And I'm just going to talk a little bit about our next conversation. We'll be with Kathy Lambert, who's our Senior Vice President of Human Resources Global Talent. And we'll be exploring inclusive collaboration and building diverse networks and teams and their impact on creative problem solving and growth. So once again, thanks to Jeff. Thank you all for listening, and really appreciate your time, and have a great day. Have a safe day and enjoy.